am the Innovation Manager at the SBDC, and I want to personally welcome you to the first session of our brand new webinar series, The Growth Room. So we are so happy you're here, you're on time, and everyone is clearly full of energy, and that's what we like to see. So, just a quick introduction before we jump in. We created the Growth Room out of an idea that, entrepreneurship, especially for women, it can feel lonely, but we don't want you to feel isolated. We want to create a space that feels like just a conversation with, a trusted friend, honest, real, raw conversations, because we believe that entrepreneurial support isn't just funding. All right, so this is a space for you to reflect, challenge yourself, and also build clarity, especially as you prepare for 2026 and beyond. Right, so our session tonight is just the first step in that journey. So we wanted to start out with clarity around your brand, your vision, your purpose, because how you show up defines everything else that you do through your business. And to lead us this evening, I'm excited to welcome a friend of the SPDC and an honorary Bahamian, and our facilitator for this evening, Shante Bacon.
Hi,
So,
everybody.
yes,
Sorry, go ahead.
so
I'm
no
just excited.
problem. I'm sure some of you are also familiar with Shante if you would have participated in our Powerhouse Summit. Shante is one of our lovely virtual panelists. So, Shante is a communications, branding, and strategy expert based in New York. She's the founder and CEO of 135 Agency, and she's led many high impact campaigns for, major companies that we've all heard of. Apple TV, Google, Disney, Netflix, and more. And what she really does best is bring strategy and storytelling together. And she's been doing this for 20 plus years and helped, organizations as well as small business owners and founders. So we're very excited about tonight's session. This isn't just a regular webinar where you just sit back and listen. We have a lot of activities for you to do. And so, if you saw the communication from us today, if you do have a Chat GPT account, it would be great if you could sign in and open it now because we will be using it throughout the session this evening. All right. So, without further ado, I'll hand it over to you, Shante.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I love women founders, Black women founders, especially because you guys are my people, right? Like, we have to make sure that we're here for each other and helping each other out, providing resources. And nothing excites me more than leveling the playing field for Black women entrepreneurs through education, because really that's where the lack is a lot of times, that we just don't get the same insider knowledge about entrepreneurship, financing, brand strategy, and everything else that is so common amongst the mainstream. So I'm going to start today with the Position for Profit workshop. It's very interactive. I definitely want to hear from you. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you're like, wait, hold on, I didn't get that, or slow down, you're going too fast, because I am a fast talking New Yorker. It's just the way I was raised, and just has been me. Just let me know. I will ask you to drop stuff in the chat just to let me know that you hear me, you got it, and then we have an interactive session later on. I love New York too. It's the second best place on earth to Bahamas. Honestly, God saved all his majesty for Bahamas. He really did. All right, so let's start here. We're going to go. So, welcome for my sisters in entrepreneurship who desire more out of life and the entrepreneurial experience. Who am I? So I'm Shante Bacon. Thank you so much for that intro, Blair. So I am a communication strategy expert. who has built a multi-million dollar PR firm, plus my new SB Enterprises coaching firm, because my firm, my PR firm, has always served large clients, right? Google, YouTube, Disney, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Netflix. We were Oprah Winfrey's agency for 13 years for her network, from when it was 10 months old, and Peacock, and we get a chance to work on large campaigns, but we didn't really have a resource for founders, right? So we were like, these are our people. We definitely have to create resources for them. So what I made my mission last year was to build out an experience suite of offers for entrepreneurs who would like to level up. So, moving on. So, how did I get here? So, I'm going to just give you a real quick piece about my journey. So, I made the leap from a well-paid gig in the music business. I don't know if anybody here has ever heard of Def Jam Records, but I worked there for 8 years. I was product manager for the marketing campaigns for Kanye West's first album, for Ludacris's third album, for Method Man, Ghostface, a lot of the artists that were coming out in 2003 and 4. And I just had an entrepreneurial itch. I always knew that entrepreneurship was my destiny. And I was like, how many more albums am I going to work? Like, it's my time. So, quit my job. Everybody thought I was bonkers. Everybody was like, you just bought a house. You're 8 months in on your mortgage. And I was like, this dream job turned into a beautiful nightmare, complete with gut wrenching Sunday night anxiety. 7 o'clock on Sunday night, everybody's like, what's wrong? I'm like, stomach, like just in knots that I have to go back into the office. And most entrepreneurs feel the same way when they're in their, their beautiful nightmare. I had an entrepreneurial itch. I knew I wanted it. I took the leap. I was, fearless at that time. Didn't have a child, a family, or anything else like that. I'm like, I'm going to take the leap. Then started the business in 2005. We worked on a lot of music projects. We worked on a lot of stuff for free or very little. And then right around 2009, we were like, okay, we have to stop working for pixie dust and the promises falling off of these celebrity dreams. And we have got to start working for money. So we pivoted into film and television in 2010. And then 6 years later, what that started heating up, we were working on a lot of film and television, a lot of Oscar award winning films, working with Oprah Winfrey Network as their agency, helped to launch Love and Hip Hop and Braxton Family Values and all of these shows. And then came Google. They had an RFP. We participated in, and won the business to be their agency of record for multicultural communications. And 2 years later, pivoted into politics, working with the Democrats in Congress to do um, the um, the DCCC's digital ad campaign after the 2018 midterms, where Trump was in office, kind of traumatizing everybody, and they were ready to go. So just to wrap that up, our business became $1 million business in 2016 with Google, and then years and years of revenues that were just short of $2 million. So the entrepreneurship thing we know how to do, and that's why I like to coach other entrepreneurs on how to do it. In the next 90 minutes, here's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about faith, right? Because if you've had your business for any amount of time, then you already know that if God is not on your board of directors, if your faith is shaky, your business experience will be shaky. Mindset, clarity, identity, and frameworks, because we did not start this business to have the roller coaster ride of emotions and our nervous system on fire all the time. So, we're going to talk about all of that. So, faith as foundation, right? I do not want anyone on this call to feel like I am pushing faith on you. If you believe whatever you want to believe, I am speaking on my experience. It has been my experience that you being in business is going to challenge you in ways that you and your nervous system could have never imagined, right? There are going to be days when you're like, oh my God, this was such a good day. I won this new piece of business. I got this new certification. We were invited into this pitch. We were invited into, the president's office. You're going to have really awesome moments and then really low lows, right? There's going to be the moments where you feel like you just leveled up, and then the problems level up, right? Because every time there's some graduation to a new level, there's a new level of challenges. And what keeps a business sturdy is the magnitude of your faith. So when I do these workshops, I usually just share very well known Bible chapters and verses that are literal like guidebooks for entrepreneurs because entrepreneurship is spiritual. There are several things that you can read that like I'm going to share this right now because I feel like this is something everybody should write down for sure. But there's a book called Business Principles of the Bible, right? It's Rabbi something. I'll get a screenshot and I'll share it to the group. But so important that we all read that book because you will understand your role in the marketplace in a whole other way, right? From the beginning of time. So I always share this Matthew 17:20, making sure that you understand that faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains and also can help your business, save your business, can get you through those trying times, those moments where you're like, I thought I could trust this person. And I can't believe the way that they ended up treating me or undermining my business or trying to put me out of business. There'll be times when you think you have a hire that you can work with, and that person tried to undercut your business. That is extremely common. And most people don't talk about it, right? Like the people that you hire and entrust with your business, sometimes you'll have one person who has made it their life's work to try to undermine your business, even though you gave them access to the intricate parts of your business. So that's why I always say faith is not optional, it's foundational, especially in entrepreneurship. So nothing preachy, just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page about that. And I find it extremely helpful to um, combat this entrepreneurial exhaustion. So, what I like to talk about here is the silent cost of doing everything alone. So drop a one in the chat if you have ever had moments where you were exhausted by your business, where you almost felt like you fell out of love with it. Like you've been doing this business for so long, you're good at it, you're taking care of people, you're a job creator, you're a rainmaker, you are like everyone's therapist, and everyone thinks, oh, she's strong, she got it, and you're trying to take on everything and fix everyone's problems. Look at all of those ones in there. Okay. So that entrepreneurial exhaustion where we just keep pushing because we're black women, we're nurturers, we're doers, we're taking care of everybody, that has a huge cost. So the first and biggest cost is on your body. You already know that. The second cost is to how you feel about your business. And the reason why that is so important is because how you feel about your business affects how you speak about your business, what you think about your business, what words you say about your business, right? And that can affect not just your brand identity and your brand clarity, but your literal intentions. Your words have the power to move mountains. And that when you express frustration about your business, or when you go to an investor, when you go to a media person to go and cover your business, or you're going to get financial backing from the bank or a loan, the way you speak about your business, you don't even hear the hidden cues when you sigh, or you're like, yeah, entrepreneurship, or you're like, yeah, I know, because it's exhausting, drive you crazy. All of those little hidden cues, everyone's listening to every single one of those and picking those up. And it's important that you love your business, right? Just like you love your babies. Like when you speak about your business in love, people pick that up, and you will be surprised how it attracts money and the actual ideal team that will take care of your business and take it to the next level. And being in love with what you're doing is good for your soul and your body. So moving forward, if God gave you the vision, then why are we playing small? You know why we're playing small? Why we're playing small is because of what one of my business coaches calls the identity. So that is, as we move through life, everyone who gives us their own version of the truth You're too big. You're too small. You're too dark. You're too light. You're too inexperienced. You're too corny. You're too whatever. You're too rough around the edges. You're not polished. You're this. You're that. We tuck those in, tuck it under a rib, tuck it in our pocket, tuck it under a breast, and just keep moving with it. And after a while, that is so heavy that it affects the way that we eat, what we even think we're capable of, and we don't even know it. We're playing small and have no idea that we are playing small. Do me a favor, right? And drop a five in the chat if you have ever gotten anybody's feedback about you and they know nothing about you, but they're telling you what you can and can't do and what you're capable of and what you can do and how far you can go. And what they really mean is what they can do, right? But you that buried itself somewhere in your mind, and then you're like, damn, why am I thinking with these limitations? How come I feel like I can't do it? It's because of all of those kinds of things. And we're here today to move some stuff around, to kick some stuff out, to evict some limiting beliefs and get that right the hell out of here so it could stop getting in our way. So, do you dream, right? So, do you dream of scaling a business, like scaling a big business, something that you don't even control anymore? You have to hire someone to actually run that business, something that's global. Do you dream of having greater visibility, right? And being featured in the media, like in magazines, on television shows, on radio shows, because you know that no one does what you do like you do it, and you are worthy of remark. That's what I call my remarkable entrepreneurs. If you know you're a remarkable entrepreneur, drop a seven in that chat because you guys know y'all are remarkable. Do you dream of mastering how to effectively communicate the value your business offers in media interviews and building $1 million business? Because absolutely no one started a business to say, hey, I just want to break even. Or I started this business just so I could pay my bills and not have anything in the bank for savings. Or I started this business so I can only afford to do one vacation a year. That's not why you started a business. You started a business because you wanted financial freedom and you wanted freedom of your time, right? And so dreaming is so important. And AI helps us to do those things. It helps us to do the things that we really can't do yet in the immediate future. So you see that photo right there? That was created in AI. That's not me. I have never been to Paris. I am not that skinny. And guess what? I dreamt it. I was like, this is something that is on the horizon for me. And I am going to create it, add it to my vision board or to a collage of what the kinds of things that I dream about doing, sipping a latte in Paris and being at a cafe, having a great time and looking fabulous. Just dreaming is fun. It's good for your soul. It's cathartic. It's all those things that as we become moms and caretakers and business owners and bill payers, we forget to do. Very important stuff. Dreaming is as much strategy um as faith. So here we go. This is what I call a protection prompt. So, Blair, if you could drop the protection prompt in the chat. So, I don't expect you guys to write this down or to super read it. But what I like to do is create things that are tools for you to use. So, I spend a lot of time leveling up the kinds of prompts that I create in Chat GPT and making sure that my fellow founders have access to it. So this is what I call the protection prompt because you're asking ChatGPT to act as a spiritual business advisor that is literally helping you realign your goals with your faith and also asking for you to not waste time on things that are not in alignment with your purpose, right? Sometimes we forget to do this because we're so busy doing everything else. And it's important that we not only leverage Chat GPT to make money, but we also leverage Chat GPT to feed us spiritually, right? Because it can do that. It can help you. Now, you can feed it whatever you want, but I know that this prompt helps me. And eventually, you add it as a scheduled task, which is something that I will teach all of us to do in future sessions, how to do the scheduled task so that automatically every day it is generating something that is customized to you and something that can help motivate you through to your next day. I am going to drop a few of these in, and by the end of them, we'll make them all scheduled tasks over the next few sessions. So that's you can cut and paste that, drop it into your chat GPT, and then turn right back into what we're doing here. So, the mindset mapping, identifying and eliminating mental obstacles, negative self talk, fear, rejection, and overwhelm, right? So, everybody's talking about it, but how do we do it? So, this Bible chapter and verse, Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, key, very key in entrepreneurial strategies because you are riding the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. So you're high one day and you're low the next. And while you're on the roller coaster, you need to make sure that you don't start getting weighed down by disappointments and heartbreaks and money loss and a nervous system that's on fire. So every day you really do need to wake up with a renewed mind, right? And be ready to attack business the next day. That is exactly what will help you to just wake up with a fresh perspective and move forward as if you're going to slay these dragons and nothing can get you down. Why mindset is the first multiplier. So here's why mindset is the first multiplier. Your business can only grow as fast as your beliefs will allow. That is real talk. I mean, the only real battle, right? Some of us think that we're battling with the person at work. We're battling with the person who works for us and they're disrespecting us in front of, right. Where they're disrespecting us in front of the other team. You think you're battling with your neighbors? You think you're battling with bill collectors? Mm-mm. The only real battle that any of us are in is in our own head. If you could win that battle, the rest of them is nothing. If you can stay in a faith grounded mindset of renewal, new energy, new aspirations, and actually be able to look at problems not like it's a personal injury to you, but like it is just a part of the journey, then you're doing something. And we're going to go far with our businesses. So here are the four categories of disempowering beliefs. So each of these are numbered for a reason. So, anxiety. Can anyone who's ever suffered from anxiety drop a one in the chat for me, please? Now, I'm going to tell you for sure for anxiety, I have been hospitalized for anxiety. I have had to battle with anxiety attacks since I was 24 years old. I was at the Too Fast, Too Furious premiere, a literal movie premiere with a big red carpet and everything, and felt like my chest was about to explode like like a shiver, and ended up taking a car to my mom's house, like walked in gasping for air, and they're like, what's going on? She calls the ambulance. They take my blood pressure and they're like, this, are you on ecstasy? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I can't even breathe. And she was like, look at this blood pressure. This is the blood pressure of a 16-year-old. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. She took me to the emergency room, and the doctor walked in and was like, what kind of job could a 24-year-old have that would have you in here with a severe anxiety attack? I had no idea what the hell was going on. So since then, I have come up with strategies for how to handle my anxiety, including Pilates and yoga and all kinds of stuff. But anxiety can be crippling because it feels so real. And I see a lot of ones in here. So I know that we have all experienced anxiety in one way or another, especially as entrepreneurs. Number two, comparing. Comparing is the fastest way to grow anxiety. Number two, with comparing, is looking, and I'm going to tell you why it's so easy for us to compare. Even those of us who don't think we're comparing, social media is the literal it's like a flatbed of fertile soil for comparing, because all it is one big giant marathon of storefronts that people want you to see, right? They give you what they want you to see. You don't see the piping, the plumbing, the painting that's all falling apart in the back. You see what they want you to see. And you're looking at it going, how come they're having this experience in their business and I'm not? And you're like, what am I doing wrong? And so it's not even like you're controlling it sometimes. You're just looking and you're like, It's human nature to be like, what am I doing wrong? How come this isn't the experience I'm having? Comparing, another thing we're here to evict today. Your journey is your journey, and I know you know that because we all know that already. That's nothing new. But we always have to remind ourselves. And anytime I need to remind myself about something, I create a prompt, a scheduled task, and let ChatGPT remind me about it every day. Number three, no plan. If you've ever started something with no plan and then had to start from scratch and regroup because you didn't have a plan, can you drop a three in the chat? Happens to all of us, right? We start something, we're excited, we dive into entrepreneurship, no plan, and then what? We got to start over because we lost money, we lost time. A plan is everything, especially in business, because you trial and error is essential for business, but trial and error and no plan for how we're going to get to the next level and how we're going to find our people, how we're going to be consistent, how we're going to be clear in our brand message and our identity. That is all a recipe for lost resources, lost time, lost money, all of that. And number four, I know we're all guilty of destination obsession. So that's when you don't mind doing the hard things, right? Because it's hard to find people who want to do the hard things. You don't mind doing the hard things, but the entire time you're doing the hard things and the hard work of entrepreneurship, the only thing in your mind is, I'll be happy when I make it, when I make $1 million, when I, finally get to this specific level in the bank, when I get this particular customer, when I get to where I want to be. So planning is fine, but if you're delaying personal happiness for the destination, you're missing out on the beautiful parts of the journey, right? That is so freaking important. Hi. It's so important that you enjoy the journey because that is where life is lived. It's not lived at the destination, it's lived throughout the journey, right? And part of the thing about being obsessed with the destination is when you finally get there, it's never as glorious as you thought it was going to be because you didn't enjoy the way there. So be enjoying the way there is it. A lot of times, we go through grief, loss, heartbreak, discouragement, all kinds of things. Lost money, somebody stole from us and we feel violated. All of those things are going to happen, but finding a way to say, I'm in this trial, I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. But what I'm going to do today is figure out why I'm in this trial and what I'm supposed to get from it. And I can tell you right now, and this is going to be the last part of this part of the presentation, but it's key, is that you certainly want to make sure that you are, I'm gonna go back here for a second until I make this point. You want to make sure that if you are a person who believes in God and the Holy Spirit, that every single minute, and I'm trying to train myself where every little obstacle that comes up, I am asking for, before I start thinking in my entrepreneurial mind that I'm going to solve every problem and it's all on me and I'm relying on everything I know, I stop immediately. I don't care if it's a parking space, because in New York, that is a problem. But whatever it is, I always stop and I say, Holy Spirit, what am I supposed to be extracting from this moment? What is going on right now? I mean, tech gremlins, they always come for you when you start making progress. Then all of a sudden your Wi-Fi don't work, your cell phone don't work, something's not connecting, you can't hear anything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like you have to be like, Holy Spirit, what am I supposed to learn in this trial? So I'm just going to share a little bit with you guys. 2 years ago, my sister passed away. I'm sharing it because it was the most devastating, heartbreaking thing I feel like I've ever been through. My dad passed away when I was 16, but that was different. She was my best friend, the person who I spoke to for 3 or 4 hours a day. She was in the room when my son was born 5 years ago. And the magnitude of the loss, get, I started to like really like go into a dark place. And I had to say, like, this is not going to change. So I have to figure out, while I'm in this trial, what am I supposed to extract from it? I have to figure out something because she would not want me to just collapse. And so I see pieces of her in my son, and he talks about her all the time at 5 years old. And I'm embracing the journey, but I'm telling you that to say when you are an entrepreneur, you're going to have heartbreak, divorce, grief, loss, I mean all kinds of things coming at you. I currently am, I'm a mom and a caretaker for my 83-year-old mom who has Alzheimer's, and I'm telling you that life is happening while you're building that business. And so if you don't have seek the Holy Spirit every minute, you will be buried under a ton of things happening, and you start to grow numb. But we don't want to be numb. We still want to be present because we want to enjoy the journey. And what I could tell you with 100% positivity is that happiness is a choice, peace is a choice. I don't even know how some days I choose happiness, but I really I'm telling you it is a choice. For me, I just find things to look forward to. Love the holidays, like to decorate. Now I decorate so much that the people at my son's school are like, "Hey, can you come and decorate for Christmas at the school?" Like whatever you can figure out to get your joy from, go find that. So, I'm moving on. If anybody has any questions, I am happy to answer any questions. So, if you've ever had any of these doubts and frustrations, you're not alone. I've been in the game for 20 years. I'm happy to help. So let's get to it. So I have a gift for you guys at the end, which everybody will get access to, but it's going to help with the mistakes that we can make as entrepreneurs. So we're going from, we're going for brand clarity in 2026, right? That's where we have to be because this is such a critical year where AI has officially mainstreamed and everyone's using it to get the leverage that they need in their specific industry. And so we're literally at the point where if you're not using it, you're falling behind, right? That's why 2026 brand clarity is so important. You want to go from no one sees me to a mentality that I'm not positioned yet. Yet is such a powerful statement. And understanding that rejections are a part of the game. If you're not getting enough no's or rejection, that means you're not trying enough and you need to try more times so you get more no's so you get to the yes faster. And it's just that simple because it is a literal game of reps. Like, yep, I made them, they said no to me so many times. I made them say no to me so many times that they just ran out of ways to say no. Now they just say yes. And that's where your business gets to. What are we really afraid of when it comes to brand clarity, brand identity, visibility, right? So I'm just going to touch on something really quickly. Um, you When it comes to visibility equaling vulnerability, a lot of the things that hold us back from using AI, from leaning all into social media, and I'm certainly a person who has had this experience, is that we're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid that people are going to say bad things about us. They're going to make shitty comments. They're going to make negative commentary or judge us or whatever. And I'm here to tell you that literally we're in the era of business where attention and audience is commerce, right? That is what you're going for. More than money, more than getting paid, more than upselling a client, building your audience and your community. And you are going to get negative comments. And the truth is, you haven't arrived until you do. That's something to be celebrated. We have to put those types of things into the right filter so that they don't scare us into hiding because that only hurts us and keeps us behind. So, what you survived, the loss, the divorce, the grief, all of that becomes the strategy that's going to help to propel you forward. It becomes your social proof. It becomes the proof to yourself that you are unbreakable because you are. Because look at how many things that you have survived. For all of, can you drop a one in the chat if you are a mom and an entrepreneur? If you I want to see all of these ones. So momming and entrepreneuring is a whole other level of, oh my, like trying to keep up with that while trying to build the business. Drop a 2 in the chat if you take care of a parent and you're an entrepreneur, because that also is, I mean, that is strong soldier like type of stuff. You, he'll be back soon. Go ahead. That's my mom. See what I'm saying? So, like, if you and drop a three in the chat if you're a mom and you're taking care of parents and you're an entrepreneur. Now, there's that the threes. I'm here to tell you that is my experience. I'm with you. I feel you. You are my people. There are people have absolutely no idea of how isolating it can be when all day long you're caretaking other folks and don't get to yourself. I'm currently operating as like, well, what are the pros and cons of letting people know I'm the person behind the brand? I'm going to get to that and next. So I just want you to know that as people who are surviving things every day. Oh, yes, four if you have a husband as well. Thank you for that. If you have a child, you're caretaking a parent, and you have a business, like definitely drop that four in there. I'm telling you, soldiers. That's all I see, soldiers. So I'm asking you that for sure. Now, for anybody who doesn't have all of that stuff, does not have kids, is not taking care of a parent, but is an entrepreneur, I want you to drop a five in the chat because how many times have you had to survive or overcome somebody telling you you couldn't do it? Somebody trying to undermine your business, somebody trying to steal from you, somebody trying to steal your intellectual property and go sell it like it was theirs. Every day you're overcoming something, right? And so the goal is to make sure that you're using that pain, that disappointment, that discouragement as proof that you are unbreakable and you are going to build this business. So, just to wrap up the mindset section, I'm giving this to you. Everybody, please take a screenshot of it. It's just a literal virtual resource that I found online. I use it every day. And I try to keep it right on my desktop, but it reminds me to stay in a growth mindset, right? Definitely using the word yet, definitely seeking challenges, not running away from innovation, being curious, setting goals that I can actually learn, not do, but learn, building persistence, embracing failure. All of that is part of it. How you talk about the business, taking risk, seeking new opinions, not being afraid of criticism. All of that is part of the entrepreneurial experience and maintaining a growth mindset. Okay, so we're gonna move on from the mindset piece. Okay, so lastly is the perspective prompt. Very important. You're gonna copy this. Blair, can you drop this in the chat? So, acting as my inner freedom mindset coach, begin by asking me, you're asking Chat GPT to ask you, because you need to help him help you. Ask me about my current business challenge and where I feel I'm in competition, rejected, or held back. Help me to recognize that my greatest battle is internal, rooted in old labels and false identities I've carried, like being too much or not enough. Ask me to name one of these limiting labels I've internalized. Guide me to release the need to prove them wrong and instead embrace who God made me to be without fear, lack, or trauma. Help me reframe every no as guidance toward my unique path. Encourage me to view others as collaborators and not rivals. And then design a weekly exercise where I reflect on the baggage I'm holding so I could evict it, get it out of here, release it, and affirm that I am enough. And finally, show me how to make this mindset renewal a daily habit through a scheduled task. Cut, paste, copy, put it in your Chat GPT. You can rework it however you want. Never accept the first thing that Chat GPT sends you. Always ask for an upgrade. Tell him to go deeper, think deeper, do better, and they will. And they'll make it all about you. Okay? Now we're moving on to brand clarity. Can a fifth grader tell you what you do? The thing about that brand clarity piece is this. When you walk a kid into a bakery, they automatically know they bake cakes. When you take them to the car wash, they wash cars. When you take them to certain places, it's crystal clear because that engages all five senses, sight, smell, all of that. When it comes to some of our service-based businesses, it's a little bit harder, right? Because you don't want people to be Is it not showing you guys the deck? You can still see it? Everybody see it?
Yes,
Okay,
we
cool.
can
I
still
just
see
want
it.
to make sure you can still see it because it's asking me to share it again. There. Screen sharing is okay, there it is. Okay. So yes, so when you have a business that you eat, sleep, and breathe, it can be difficult um to communicate what you do for a person who has a very limited understanding of your industry, right? I always say, boil it down to me like I'm a fifth grader, because if you can make it that simple, it can be easily communicated and transferred. Before I get into that, I just want to say that in Habakkuk 2:2, there is a great chapter and verse for entrepreneurs. Write the vision and make it plain, right? I always have to remind myself that because as you could tell already, I'm wordy. I am. I know this about myself. I've been working on it for 30 years. All right. So, brand clarity equaling cash flow. If I can't say what you do in 7 words, you're leaking income. It's just that simple. Because probably the most limited resource today is attention span. It's disappearing by the minute. I always tell people the only thing diminishing in this world by the second is attention span. It takes us less and less time to listen in and do everything. So we want to make sure that to make something, you know what, I'm gonna stay here for a second. To make something crystal clear, we are going to need to figure out how to make it plain and make it easily transferable, right? So I'm wordy and I definitely know that I am I can get lost in my excitement and my enthusiasm and over explain something, right? But when it comes to your brand, whether you're pitching for investors, pitching for press, you're trying to hire your dream employee, whether you're trying to compete in a competition, you definitely want to make sure that you're able to communicate it in 7 words in 7 words if possible, but less than 30 seconds, less than 3 sentences. Just very quickly be able to communicate your brand clarity because it directly affects your income. So let's talk about brand clarity for a second. Do you know you have or do something remarkable? I would like for everyone who knows in their soul that what they are doing, no matter what it is, party planning, baking, restaurant, event decorating, interior design, construction, whatever it is, an author, a writer, you know the work you're putting out is remarkable, which means worthy of remark. I would like for you to drop in the chat remarkable. Can you do that for me? Can you type the word remarkable and drop that in if you know what you're doing in your business is remarkable? You know what you're doing, right? And no one can do it like you. And that's just the bottom line. When you know that, like you know that it's unshakable, no one can tell you anything different. That's the first step in brand clarity because you're crystal clear on what you offer to the marketplace. Now, the next part is, do you know your business will benefit from proper positioning? If you know that, can you put the word positioning in the chat? Because positioning is usually the missing link between a remarkable business and all of the glory and the destiny that they deserve. Positioning solves 90% of your problems, right? But it's not usually a focus because we're in survival mode, because our nervous system is on fire, because we're solving today's problems. We don't take time to position properly. So, moving forward, let's talk about some examples that we all have seen that where these brands were just confused. They never took time to hone in and focus in on positioning. MySpace. Is there anybody out there who used to have a MySpace account? Is this our audience that's too young for MySpace or anybody remember it? Because at one point they were owning the whole game, right? Okay. What happened to them? They were not prepared for Facebook. They were not positioned. They lost sight of who they were because trolls and people who just wanted to do butt photos and troll butt photos and stalk people who did butt photos. That is all MySpace became. So then you have a whole innovation called Facebook that just has one value proposition. We connect friends. And they just took the whole market. And that is what happens when you're not properly positioned. MySpace already had millions of people that were already connected, but it became a place that people didn't want to go to because their priority was not connection. They lost they lost control of it. And it just is a sad example in the trash heap of brands that did not understand who they were. BlackBerry, is there anybody out there who knows what BlackBerry is? And did you have a BlackBerry? And did you have the little flip up time port little thingy like back in the early 2000s? Okay. How on earth did BlackBerry lose ground so fast? Because they didn't see Steve Jobs coming with the iPhone. They had no idea. They're just happy to have you typing on that little thing. And they're like, yeah, we're number one. And they're happy to, we had the little mini computer and all of that. And send a BBM. And a BBM is nothing but a DM right now. And they just lost sight of the mission. Right. And then Kodak. I mean, the only game in pictures, right? Until phones with the ability to take pictures came around and they lost control of the plot. So this is all of these brands is what happens when you're not clear on what you do. The only brand coming up with innovation and taking pictures should have been Kodak, but they were too comfortable in the space that they were in. They weren't clear. Yahoo, Yahoo and Google start at the same time. And what happens? Google is crystal clear. We are a search engine. This is what we do. You come to us for information. Yahoo is all over the place. They got little things here and there for you to try and all of that, but never zeroed in on positioning themselves as the world's biggest search engine. So what happened? Market share gone. And so what I'm saying is we're going to learn from these examples and we're going to move on. Toys R Us actually just kind of succumb to the fact that you can buy toys online from anywhere and have them shipped right into your home. So why would anybody need to go to the store? But that's a great example. So I feel your pain if you've experienced any of these things. Money wasted on expensive consultants with no ROI, hidden as a best kept secret despite having remarkable work, struggling to catapult your business to 6 or 7 figures in the next year because in 2026, with AI as an innovation, every business should be pushing the limits into the 6 and 7 figure category. No traction with positioning yourself as an authority. I mean, is there anything more maddening than when you know you're the expert in your category? You've been doing it for years, you're an expert, you could do it with your eyes closed, but the person who did it for 6 months to a year does a better job at marketing themselves as an expert rather than being an expert. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Drop a three in the chat if you have seen inexperienced competitors in your industry go out there and just focus on getting themselves covered and doing social media and doing all of that while you're busy doing the job, right? Infuriating. Three with three exclamation marks or four exclamation marks. I can't even see that. Oh, it's three. Let me not even show y'all that I can't see. All right. So, anyway, so that is infuriating. So, no traction with positioning yourself as an authority. That is a problem for last year. We are moving on past that because we're going to learn positioning. So, number one is we're suffering from a lack of media exposure, right? But this is not exactly about media, what we're doing today, because we're doing the step before that, which is brand clarity and identity, before you get to media exposure. We'll do another one of these sessions in the future, and that'll be all about media exposure and how we focus on that. Content overwhelm. I mean, just opening up your feed anywhere, just the timeline alone will have you going, I'm just going to close it back. I'm too busy. I cannot even absorb this much information coming so quickly all the time. Like, I'm busy. I'm running a business. Time constraints, right? I'm battling with running a successful business. I'm taking care of the house. I'm taking care of kids, taking care of my parents, taking care of my husband, taking care of whoever. and run and managing your team, which low key is a doozy, right? The more people you hire, the harder that is. It's not easier, it's harder when you grow as a business. And discovering my audience. I don't know where my people are. I don't know where you always hear people say my ideal avatar. It's a weird way to say my ideal customer and how to reach them, right? And so the thing is like when you're properly positioned and you are set up in the right way, your people find you because you've made yourself more findable. You don't have to do the hard work and stress of trying to find them because when you find your positioning, your people find you. When you find your people find you. And that's what it is. So right here, positioning begins when your audience instantly understands the value you bring, right? You know you have value. I saw all of those threes, all of those remarkable entrepreneurs who know they're remarkable. But what we have to do is make sure that it is so simple and so easy that a fifth grader can see the value that you bring. So let's do a clarity test real quick. And you can use your chat GPT to do this, or you can just answer this yourself. So this is a quick audit that we're going to do together. When you tell someone what you do, can they repeat it back easily? Either drop a yes or a no in the chat so we can see. And that will level set and show us exactly where we need to be. And there's no shame in whatever the answer is. You can take these to Chat GPT, but first I would answer it for myself. So number one, when you tell someone what you do, can they repeat it back easily? In the chat, do I have it? Yeah, great. Tons of yeses here. Okay, great. Is there anybody who struggles when you're trying to? So the no's, that's actually quite common. That when you tell someone what you do, they can't repeat it back easily, and that's how we go fall down a rabbit hole of explaining what we do, right? How often do people ask you to clarify what your business does? If it's often, please put often in the chat. If it's not, then just say never. People don't ever ask me to clarify, but definitely share. If someone saw your website or your social bio, would they know who you help in 10 seconds? Yes or no to that one. Actually, say one for yes if someone saw your website and they'd know, and two for no. They wouldn't even know if they looked at my website or my bio. And number four, when you share what makes you unique, do people show excitement or curiosity? And so these four questions are so important to start the audit of our level of clarity, right? Because if we answered no, or I have to do some explaining, or any of those things that are going to that make it not crystal clear, it's great to know that up front so we can do something about it because that's what we're doing here, right? We're kicking old stuff back to 2025 and we're taking all of the good stuff that we can use forward. What is the single biggest challenge you're having in acquiring customers? Can you please drop that in the chat? Is it lack of advertising, customers not knowing about you, not enough bandwidth to serve your customers? Like, what's the big challenge that's stopping you from taking on a ton more customers in your business? Is it lack of time? Is it lack of a team that can support you? Not enough manpower, not enough time in the day, all of those kinds of things. Exposure, people don't know about you. Just what this is all of that right there. That's all going to be dealt with our frameworks. Yep, that's it. Okay, here we go. This is your analysis prompt. You're going to cut and paste this. Blair, can you drop this in the chat, please? You're acting as a world renowned brand strategist and creative director who has just launched billion-dollar blue chip brands across the globe. Now, what that sentence did was it told ChatGPT how to think, what brain it should be cutting on. Hi, ChatGPT. I run a business in whatever field. I serve my clients differently from my competitors by doing this. My secret sauce is this. My current brand message is this. I need your help to see if it's crystal clear. First, does it explain what I do and for who? Second, does it highlight what makes me unique? Third, is the tone right for my audience? Fourth, what can I improve for impact? Now let's go deeper. Could a fifth grader understand and repeat what I do? And does it still convey what makes me special? Finally, based on my most loyal, what my most loyal customers say, why they keep coming back to me, how can I align my message even better? After your analysis, offer three sharper, more memorable versions. When you drop this in the chat and you customize it with your information, whatever chat GPT comes back to you with, say, go back, give me a level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 upgrade. I think you can do better. Make him think deeper about it. This is how you get chat GPT to be working for you. And so, does anybody have any questions about how to use this analysis super prompt? I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Any questions? I'm having so much fun with you guys. I don't know about anybody else. This is like so much fun. I can do this all day. What if you're a new entrepreneur? I love startups. Startups are wonderful. But if you're a new entrepreneur and you don't exactly have a track record of clients yet, what you're doing is using this to talk about your brand promise. Have you ever heard of a brand promise? Like what value you're going to deliver to the marketplace. Oh, this is good. How to use this in the automotive industry. So all you have to do is go in and where it says, I run a business in the automotive industry, specifically selling tires, engines, paint jobs, whatever. And then go into my secret sauce is, and your secret sauce is what's different, what makes you different from everybody else who's doing that in the actual industry. You know what I'm saying? Um, but we can get to that also. You'll get a little bit more insight on that in the brand identity section. Any other questions? Think we need another option for the prompts so we can copy. Okay. We'll definitely make sure everybody here gets all the prompts, right? If I have to, I'll create a document and I will make sure to send that over to Blair and you guys can get a copy, but everybody will leave with them. Okay. Brand identity. See the fingerprints there? Because everybody has a different one. What do people say about your brand when you are not in the room? That is your brand identity. How does the brand make them feel? So, when it comes to brand identity, this is so necessary, right? This Bible chapter and verse, abide in me and I in you. A branch cannot bear fruit by itself. I put this here because it is so important that when we're thinking about our brand identity, if we are a God fearing entrepreneur, what God's purpose for us must be a part of this brand identity. A lot of people are out of alignment when it comes to, oh, I have fun doing this specific thing in business, right? I just have fun doing this, or I'm just good at this thing. But they keep on hitting brick walls and not understanding why they are hitting brick walls. A lot of times we waste time because we're out of alignment with what our true purpose was, right? When you think about your mission, right? The purpose is to help serve God's people and please God. If you're a God believing person, right? If you're not, that is fine and there's nothing wrong with that. That's you. But when you're running your business, right? Remember, entrepreneurship business is spiritual. It should be a spiritual exercise. When it's not spiritual is when you start getting into creeps and these, people who want to undercut folks and they make it a horrible experience. It should not be a horrible experience. God gave each of us strengths to contribute to the marketplace so that we all operate. I mean, when you think about your Bible stories, right? Everyone had a different strength. One person made shoes, one person made furniture, one person built homes. Everybody worked together. That's called community. And when we override community and we're just like, doing our own thing with absolutely no regard for, is this in alignment? That's when you're like, why is my identity all over the place? What happened here? I'm off. So that's how you get to that point because you just are like out of alignment. Alignment and obedience, that's core principles for business. Okay, let's start with this question. Are you a proud card carrying member of the Best Kept Secret Society? And that is not a trick question. If you're in the Best Kept Secret Society and you want to be there, great. No judgments here. That's where you want to be. My guess is if you're working the 80 hours a week, I always say that entrepreneurs work, you are not happy to be in the best kept secret society. You need exposure. You need people to know about your business. Anybody here who is proud to be in the best kept secret society or want to remain in the best kept secret society? Drop no in the chat if you would like to, make put kick that back to 2025, right? We want to kick that back to 2025. Leave it right there, right? Then that brand identity is the biggest and best thing we could be focused on to make that change in 2026. So your brand is not your logo. It is your energy. It is your presence. It's your reputation. And it is the experience people have when they are engaging your brand. That is your brand, right? How you make people feel when you have them in your presence is your brand. You're either going to leave them inspired, motivated, or drained. You're either going to teach them something and they walk away like, oh my God, I can't wait to do that again. Or they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. Right? It's one or the other, right? What kind of brand experience are you providing? That is very key. And that is the nucleus of your brand identity. When you know what kind of experience and feelings people are having while they're part of your brand, you can then extract that and communicate the remarkable. The fastest, easiest, best way to extract what's remarkable about your business is to just ask repeat customers. They come back to you over and over and over again when they could go to anybody else who's doing the same thing, but they're coming to you. That's the fastest, low hanging fruit way for you to find out what's remarkable about your business. Ask them, why do you keep coming back? What is it about this place that you love? I mean, I love having you here, but I really want to know, like, can you articulate it? Create a word bank with that, right? And reviews are great. It's just that sometimes people feel like I find that people feel pressure from a review, right? As opposed to like you asking them and getting some feedback live and in person. I want extracting the and communicating what's remarkable. That is your first step in your brand identity journey. Hi, handsome. That's my sweet boy. All right. So next after that is once we extract the remarkable, hi. I don't know, but I'll be with you in a second. Mwah. That's my boy. Love him. He's delicious. Okay. Positioning. So, how the world experiences your brand, right? Positioning yourself. Whoop, I didn't want to do that. Positioning through visuals, voice, and vibe. So, have any of you guys ever experienced a brand that literally stimulated all five senses? So that happens when you go to like restaurants, bakeries, things like that, where it's a whole experience, car washes, places you go where it's a sight, it's a see, smell, touch, feel, hear, like they're stimulating all five senses. Not some service businesses don't stimulate all five sentences. So you have to make sure you carefully curate what the visuals are they see when they come into business, what the voice is, what the vibe is. That is all your decision. And it has everything to do with curating your brand identity, curating, carefully putting together the pieces of how people experience you when they walk in your doors. Is there anybody who has questions about curating the brand experience and has tips if you feel like yours is going very well, or questions if you feel like that's someplace where you need ChatGPT help or you need help from customers who actually use your brand. Please don't be afraid to drop it in the chat. A full e-commerce business, again, you can stimulate people with visuals. Powerful visuals attract people to a beautiful site. They just like to look at something that's beautiful. Definitely by voice with an e-commerce business, you are actually let me see what's the right way to say it. You have a digital voice, right? When you have an e-commerce business, so constantly checking in, giving a heads up. Your email campaign is your voice when you have a full e-commerce business, right? How you engage them over email, birthday reminders, Mother's Day notes, how you strategically stagger promotions and a mail-in campaign if that's your thing. but all of that, all of your vibe is digitally curated. So you have to maintain that communication. And for the record, while we're talking about positioning and building your brand identity, everyone who can hear me should be focused on building an email list, because building the email list is going to help you build community. Remember, audience and community and attention is your commerce. That is, when people say, I want the retirement plan, right? Or they plan on working on something for the rest of their lives. When you build community, that community is your retirement plan, because as long as you have that audience, you will be able to monetize them with different launches from now into the future, as long as you keep your audience engaged and on and feeling well served. So the how can small business owners make themselves unique from others in the same industry? So one of the things that you can do, the first thing you can always do to make yourself unique from others, is the experience. From the minute people land on your website, from the minute people walk in the door, what do they see and smell? What do they hear? What's greeting them? How are we communicating to them? I mean, just really literally telling them, every little piece has to be really thought through. But you want to make sure that from the minute people walk in. So here's the worst kind of experience. Somebody goes to your site, it's not clear. They have to search for what they're looking for. They're like, damn, I don't know. I saw this thing that I really liked, and is they had like a red jacket, but it's nowhere on the site, and I can't find it. And this is what was in their ad, but I can't find it on the site. Now they're confused, they're frustrated, and they're like, I'm not coming back on here. If they walk in your door and no one greets them, no one says, can I help you? Can I tell you about this new thing that we have? You just leave them to wander around and figure it out until they have a question, then you'll talk to them. That is not what you want, right? You want to make sure you distinguish yourself through service and experience, because an experience usually entails all five senses. It's just, the way that you stimulate humans. Positioning yourself so that the world calls your name before you arrive, right? That's your brand doing its job for you. When you're not even in the room, people are speaking all about your brand and doing the work for you, spreading the word. So let's talk about some viral brands out there, right? I think for most of us, we kind of already know that Skims is a viral brand, right? She thing on the site is so damn see-through and thin, like a little piece of hose, right? But the brand identity is so strong that she doesn't have to advertise if she doesn't want to. She puts a drop out there, 3 hours later, it's done. Right? It's like pure pandemonium. They do a really good email campaign. They do run Facebook ads, because like who doesn't? But also even for Rihanna, Fenty Beauty, right? She's not pushing that like super hard, but because the brand story is so solid, they do a launch, they put it out there, and next thing you know, people are telling, oh, did you know so and so launched it? For everybody who's working and under a rock, did you know about blah, 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 blah? Next thing you know, sold out. That's what you want. You want the experience for your brand. And that's not for you to compare yourself to Kim Kardashian or to Rihanna, but just to say that the experience is so consistent that the brand story is being told in their absence. And that's what you want. You want people to say, oh, I know I go to so and so. It's like so amazing. Like, you have to go there too for this experience. Anybody have any questions about that? So when I said that your brand speaks for you before you walk in the room, this is what I'm talking about. Predictive trust, right? Predictive meaning before you even walk in the room, people feel like they already know what they're anticipating with your brand. Can anybody share, what one word comes to mind when you think about your brand? Does anybody know that already about their brand? Is it relaxation? Is it yummy deliciousness if you have a restaurant or a bakery? Like, what are the words that your customers come to their mind when they think about your business? Anybody willing to share? And if not, that's fine. But like, I know, see, purity, trust and innovation, solid. Wellness and prevention. I mean, immersive. I love that word. Because immersive means you engaged all five senses. Delicious, knowing, honest, professionalism, joy. Who doesn't want some more of that? Who's not going to come back for some more of that? You know what I'm saying? Compassion, educational. See, these are the kinds of things that you have to think through because you want to know what people are feeling. Who doesn't want to come back for a relaxing vibe or a relaxing, like if they think about your business and they're like, oh, yeah, I need some of that right now, right? That's the predictive trust. They think they already know what they're going to get when they walk in the door to your brand. So here's what stands in the way a lot of times of our brand identity. It is, I just don't know if I'm good enough. I haven't had formal corporate training. Every entrepreneur says that. That is so unnecessary. Nothing grinds my gears like when entrepreneurs feel like they have to go seek the approval of someone in a corporate job, right? That person has absolutely no idea the level of sacrifice and risk taking and gut churning and with courage that it takes to start and run that business and keep it afloat. So why on earth would we be looking for their approval? Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a corporate job. There's not. It's just that on Instagram, there's a lot of them that are trying to talk down to entrepreneurs. And I'm like, you have no idea what this thing is about right here. This right here is not for the weak. Okay. You got to have a hard stomach and be ready for the roller coaster ride of a lifetime. So the last thing I'm going to do is act like a person who hasn't taken like not even 50% of the risk that I have is going to tell me how to run my business. Like, respectfully, just don't do it. That's how I feel about it. But corporate training is not as great as you think it is, especially when you have real world experience. My clients say that my designs, my cakes, my food, my interior decorating designs, my systems, my art designs are great, but no one ever sees my work. That's an exposure issue, easy to overcome. I've lost $5,000 paying for a publicist trying to get exposure and they didn't get me anything. I don't know how to do PR. I'm not a publicist. So I put these in here because this is usually where the obstacles show up that then impede the brand identity, right? These are all easy to overcome. So you first of all, you don't need a publicist. You don't need any fancy consultants because especially in the age of AI, everything has been democratized, right? You can do whatever it is that you want to do, and AI will teach you how to do it. I literally, no matter what it is, I'm like, AI, can you show me how to, I don't know, make purple sweet mashed potatoes? Whatever. I mean, it gets that granular, like no matter what it is. And so marketing is usually intimidating to people because of the investment that's required, right? A lot of people only know about paid advertising, so they stop right there at the paid advertising like, "Oh, I don't have enough money to do Facebook ads and spend money every day." Or I don't have enough money for a marketing consultant because it's expensive work, right? Those are really mentally tedious types of things that require high strategy and experience. But you can literally you can slay any dragon right now with the help of AI. Um, Also, there was something else that I wanted to say about that. The paid media. So let's just talk about media real quick. Paid media is any advertising you can pay for. Secure your spot. It belongs to you. You move that you know for sure you have that 1 inch by 1 inch space in that magazine, newspaper, that 5 minute spot on the radio or the television show, right? The owned media is where you treat your own social channels like a television network and you program your YouTube page, your LinkedIn page, your Facebook page, your Instagram page. But for most entrepreneurs, you work a full time job, you take care of a family, and that is full time work, right? That's where you engage Chat GPT, right? So that it can give you a month's worth of content and you just are literally cutting and pasting and automating it and living through your client testimonials and those types of things that should generate like 50% of your content. Okay, so moving forward, how a self-led PR campaign changed my life. So the reason why I put this in, that's my business partner and Oprah. This is at the launch of the Tyler Perry programming a few years ago. So the self-led PR campaign, literally, we didn't pay anybody for it. We did it ourselves, even though that's what we do. We did it ourselves because we needed people to know what was remarkable about our business. And we ended up being featured in Essence and Rolling Out, which is a huge magazine in the US, and Marie Claire and some other places. And that's key because no one's going to talk about your business like you are. And literally trying to tell your story or pay someone else to do it is hustling backwards because they are regurgitating the words you put right in their mouth. You don't need them. You can tell your story. It's really the media relationships that require the work. So when we think about brand identity, we're going to use Chat GPT like it's our business partner and assistant all at the same time. Blair, can you drop this prompt in the chat? Okay, so we're acting as a world-renowned brand strategist who has overseen the launch of globally resonant brands with blue chip companies. We are thinking and operating from the mindset of someone building a global brand. That's the filter you put on Chat GPT so that that's how they're thinking about your business. You want to think with a global mind. Like, don't bring me any small time Chat GPT answers that you're giving everybody else. I want you to think like you're launching a product for Coke, right? Okay. Help me clarify and refine my brand identity by evaluating my business, my industry, my marketplace, that through the lens that I am competitive with no one. I am competitive with no one. The reason why I put that in the prompt is because when we start to give too much time and mental real estate to our competitors, we are losing every single time. When the truth is that your business doesn't have any competitors. We have people who do the same thing, but no one can provide the product or service the way that we can. And you have to know that. And you have to know that in your bones. You have to know that in your soul. You have to know that like you know you're in alignment with your purpose, right? You have no competitors. They cannot do it like you. You can't do it like them. This is your journey. This is your business. You're doing it the way that you do it. And just remember, there's other people that do other the same thing. That's fine. This is a marketplace. There's plenty of people who do a lot of things, right? No one does it like you. Period. Full stop. End of story. I don't have any competition. And you want Chat GPT to say you don't have any competition. My journey is my journey, and my superpower is the way that I deliver what I do. Help me identify what makes my brand remarkable, worthy of remark, including the strengths, the language, the quality and qualities that my customers consistently reflect back to me. Then help me clearly articulate who I am, what I do, who I serve, and why it matters in a way that aligns with my purpose and the value I provide in the marketplace. Okay? If any part of my brand profile lacks clarity, help me refine it. So my messaging, positioning, and presence become sharper over time. And then don't get the answer one time. Ask him today, wait 2 days, ask him again. Keep refining the answer. Keep looking at that brand profile. Keep asking it for improvements. Guide me to create a clear 30-second brand statement and a compelling 1 minute wow. So you're not going to hear that anywhere else because that's a term that I coined. But in my courses and my coaching programs with my students, everyone knows that there are certain words I'm not going to use, right? I'm not going to use the words elevator pitch. It just really gets under my skin. Elevator pitch, I'm just not going to say. I say 1 minute wow. Because you know why? When I think of the words elevator pitch, I think of a person who is trapped in an elevator and they don't want what I'm saying, and I'm still trying to force it on them. That is not what I want. I don't want people to be hostages to the message. No, I want people to be wowed by what I say about my business in less than a minute. So I recoined the term from elevator pitch to 1 minute wow. And we rehearse our 1 minute wows and we go through them. And this week it might work and next week it might not because we added a new service or we do it a little bit more efficient. And so the 1 minute wow makes people instantly understand my value and want to follow up, right? So that is what a fifth grader could shoot back to you. If I had a vegan restaurant, right? And I'm the only person on the East Coast who has some type of coconut curry vegan chicken made just this way, and you can't get this anywhere else because it's a proprietary sauce. That is my 1 minute wow. Like all of you vegans who really miss chicken, you can get the curry chicken right here that tastes like, whatever, but it's made from coconut and chickpeas and nuts and berries and all the things that is in vegan food, right? So, it's all about the 1 minute wow. Approach this as an ongoing refinement process, reinforcing the truth that no one can deliver what I deliver the way I deliver it. And that is my competitive advantage. Say that to ChatGPT because they need to know all of these things about you so that they can help you. And I'm going to show you how to even level this up so that you can go back to this brand agent that you're creating and get stuff all the time. Vegan curry. I love it. That's wonderful, Ariel. All right, so let's move on. That's the super prompt there. All right, so next we are going to go through a framework because we are getting on time and I want to get to the activity. Last thing before the activity is this is the Bible quote for when you're starting something new, right? So I have a framework, it's brand new that I am going to share with you guys. Normally, I only share it with students in my courses, but I'm so excited about this. I'm like, we're gonna do this framework here. So behold, I am doing a new thing, making a way where there was none. Obviously, that's the modern translation from the Bible app. But this is a very effective um, Bible chapter and verse for entrepreneurs. So, and I know you all know this. I know you guys could have said it back to me, but the this is when you're embarking on something new, and some of us like to get stuck in our ways and we don't want to try change, and innovation scares us, and this is the way I've always do it. I've done it, so this is the way I want to do it. And that right there is the fastest way to run your business into the ground, is to say, this is how I've always done it, so this is the way I want to do it. These days, the drug of choice is innovation. It's novelty, it's newness. Find a new way to do everything you do. So the framework is called the visibility velocity framework. So we're going to go through the four stages. So after 20 plus years of helping clients to go from 0 to 1,000, there are four stages of visibility and exposure that have to take place. The first one is leverage. The second is velocity. The third is recovery, and the fourth is authority. And you won't find this anywhere. This is my brainchild after all the years of what I've been doing. So, the reason why I created the visibility velocity framework is because sharing your secret sauce is better than being a best kept secret. We all know that, right? Leverage. Most people have absolutely no idea what the hell it means, but it's a very used and abused word in business. Using what you already have, repurposing, repositioning, reframing. So let's talk about leverage and what it is. Leverage. It's the unique magnet that draws people to your business, your story, your product, or your style. They can't get it anywhere else. They have to come to you for it. That is your leverage because they have to come to you for it because you're the only person, you're the gatekeeper between this thing that they want and where they are right now. That's your leverage, right? And the first thing you got to do is identify it. What sets you apart? Why are people coming to me for this thing? Why can't they get it anywhere else? Number two, you have to extract it, boil it down, refine it until you could say it in one sentence. What that thing is that gives you leverage. Number three is communicate it clearly. That means less than three sentences, less than 30 seconds. If you can, a 7 minute, a 7 minutes, a 7 word statement, but also your 1 minute wow. And then consistency, right? So this is also where most brands die because they're hot. They're on fire while they're inspired and they're energized and they're wowing people, and then people sign up and the experience is inconsistent. And then what happens? All of those good vibes and all of that positivity starts to turn into one little negative comment, and another person saying, "Oh yeah, me too." And another person go, "Oh yeah, me too." And the next thing you know, the Me Too congregation has the negative comments as loud as the positive comments. Consistency is key. Okay. So, anybody have any questions about leverage before I move on to velocity? I'm happy to answer any questions. Anybody want to drop something in the chat that they need answered? Okay. Velocity. Speed comes from systems, not hustle. So that's another thing that we are going to go over in future sessions like this is systems, right? Because I promise you, probably the biggest value any business can get from ChatGPT is creating systems. That's it. When you can create your own systems and actually implement them, get your team to follow it and abide by it, you're winning. That is the answer to consistency is systems. Okay, velocity is how fast and consistently your brand shows up once your leverage is clear. Focused movement, choosing where to show up. Repetition, sharing the same core message so often that people remember you and they repeat your message for you. That's what's going on with Skims and Fenty Beauty. They don't need to be present because people are already familiar with the brand, so they repeat it for them. How do small businesses get repetition? E-blast campaign. Tell them what to say about you. Put it in their inbox. Put the words in their mouth. Put it at the top of their inbox. This is no lie and this is not fluff. When I go to a business conference of my peers and people who I'm trying to get business with, I will walk down the hall and people will say, "Oh my God, I just got an email from you. I saw that you guys are launching so and so." Now she's doing my job for me. I just walked in that room. They were talking about the e-blast we just sent that morning before we got downstairs. And now she's telling me about my own campaigns. E-blast campaigns work. That is core. That is foundational. That is community building. That is doing half of the work of the consistency for you. Momentum over perfection, because taking action instead of waiting to get it perfect is going to be what sets you apart from the person who is definitely not positioned at all. Okay? All right. Let me see. I'm going to anybody have questions about velocity before I move on? Anybody else? Okay. Nope. All right. And recovery. Okay. So if anybody here has ever stumbled, got something wrong, made a mistake, misspoke, dropped the ball, lost a client, a customer, or a campaign because you messed something up, please drop a 2 in the chat if you ever made some kind of mistake that cost you a client. Just you feel free to share it. Okay, so the reason why that e-blast campaigns are effective and all that. Yeah, so the reason why I asked that question is because entrepreneurs, when they make a mistake, they feel it more than someone who's in a corporate gig, right? And so when they make a mistake, usually people want to grind them into dust because they made a mistake, or make them have to apologize and grovel for it. That has always just sizzled me a little bit, because a person who is running a business all on their own does not have the amount of manpower that it takes to hide a mistake behind the intern or whoever, right? They're actually responding to you in your face and taking accountability. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone drops the ball. Everyone submits something late, got there late, missed out on an opportunity, fumbled something, right? When you fumble something, that is not the end of the story. That's the beginning of part two of the story, right? We have to be what I call, my students know this, but what I call radically forgiving of ourselves, because we're entrepreneurs, because it is way too easy for us to destroy ourselves because we made a mistake. We're going to make mistakes. It's not possible for us not to make mistakes. Recovery is your ability to pause, evaluate what just happened, adjust and realign without losing your identity, without letting go of hope, getting discouraged, despondent, giving up. Like that recovery is so important. But the recovery doesn't happen usually because we are not radically forgiving with ourselves. Like it doesn't matter what it was. You have to forgive yourself. Refinement, improving your message instead of starting over. Sometimes a mistake is just a mistake. If you have a consistent negative experience happening at your business, you must pause to find out what's going on and how you can readjust and realign and get going. Rhythm, protecting your energy to avoid burnout. That means getting in the rhythm, but not allowing that rhythm to be too disrupted because somebody had a negative comment, somebody dropped the ball. If you guys only knew how many times someone on my team makes a mistake, I wasn't even involved, I wasn't there, but it was my job to get in front of them and do all of the apologizing and to do all of the, making good, right? So it happens to everyone. I'm gonna give a real quick 10-second story. Oprah Winfrey Network. It's one of our early projects with them. They were finally chose us as the agency, empowered us. We had a 5 city tour going on. We're launching a big Tyler Perry show that they have happening. And the person who we hired in DC to activate, I don't know if she was just having a bad day or what happened to her, but she did not know that you cannot screen something in a venue where the sun is blasting through the windows. Such an easy fix, but she was just too inexperienced. The talent is literally complaining to the network. So it goes all the way up the pipeline. And now we're getting phone calls. And I'm like, oh my God, this would have been so easy. I would have just sent her to Target or somewhere to get a tension rod to put a curtain over the window. Like, just so easy if she had just let me know what was going on. She didn't. We got on the phone with them. They were screaming, upset, like freaking out. And I just said, we screwed up. Like, I put the wrong person on DC. I'm so sorry. I will never make that mistake again. I would have just done this had I known about it, but I didn't. And so I'm just going to own it. That was a F up. We did that. And, every other market it went the way we wanted it. But this time we just had someone who made the wrong call. I'm sorry. I hope you can continue trusting us with this project. That was it. After a while, they got tired of screaming because I took accountability. And I'm like, that's what you have to do. And what did we do after that? We recalibrated, we put systems in place so that would never happen again. So whenever we're doing an event, the event checklist is damn 3 pages long so that nothing like that ever happens again. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be forgiving. You cannot beat yourself up. You cannot do that because beating yourself up as an entrepreneur, you're already defying gravity, right? You're making a way where there isn't one. You're creating jobs. You're being everyone's therapist and caretaker. Now you make a mistake, so you're supposed to like fall on the sword too. No, not at all. You're going to just regroup, recalibrate, and fix it. So authority. That's the final stage of the 4 steps because you have now established what your leverage is, ramped up with your velocity, right? So now you're in more places, you're taking on more customers, you're doing more things, you're making more money. You fumbled something. Inevitable. Gonna happen. You were radically forgiving. You forgave yourself, you got back on track. The next step after getting back on track is establishing your authority. You now know what it takes to not only excel, but to fumble it, trip, fall on your face, get back up, regroup, and still take it higher. And that is what gives you the confidence to know that you deserve the authority. That is what gives you all of the things that you need to know I can do this and I can do it for you, and you can trust me with this project. Okay? So authority is the trust that your brand earns when people believe I'll be right there. Authority is the trust your brand earns when people believe you before you speak because they've seen it. It's not just based on your word. They've seen it. You've presented the value again and again and again. That's authority. Proof through experience, results, and consistency. Consistency is almost the solution to every damn problem. If you look at people who you're out there and you're like, how is this person becoming this entrepreneur like that? How are they doing these things? And you're like, I don't understand. They don't even know what they're doing. Nine out of 10 times, if they're inexperienced, they don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're showing up in places as an authority, it's because they had the consistency of constantly repeating the same message. And so people started believing it. Well, if she said she knows what she's doing, maybe she knows what she's doing. And that just happens, right? And so, you definitely have to remember that. And leadership by teaching, guiding, and adding value. One thing that's never going to happen is your business will never grow and thrive if you hold on to every ounce of your intellectual property, afraid to share it with people because you're afraid that the youngins is gonna, surpass you, or so and so is gonna take your IP and go start their own business. People for years would be like, "Oh, aren't you afraid of so and so is gonna steal your idea?" I'm like, if I only have one idea in my head, I got bigger problems, right? Like that's not my only idea. Like I have other things I can share and add value to, and nobody can deliver anything the way I do, and I know that. And you have to know that about your business. And I always tell my client, my students and my customers, like, you do not ever second guess the way you deliver something, especially when you're an entrepreneur with a track record. You've already been delivering to the marketplace, and now you're going to get to the point where you're starting to question yourself. Like, no, we're not doing that today. Okay. So, anybody have any questions about any of that? I love the commentary. I love that you guys are sharing some of your experiences because that is so important. Recovery is a counter attack. That is 100%. And the mindset is all that gets you through this entrepreneurship journey. This thing right here, you got to be a soldier for this. All right, so this is our final prompt, and this one is the framework prompt, right? So, my students use this and they refine it every week because I want to see different results coming from the framework every week. Thank you, Blair. She put it in the chat. You're going to copy and paste this. Chat GPT, act as a visibility strategist, act as an expert in the visibility velocity framework, designed to help entrepreneurs scale their business. Guide me through applying the four core principles: leverage, velocity, recovery, and authority to my business. Leverage, identifying how to maximize the resources and strengths I already have. Velocity, how do I accelerate growth and gain momentum in the marketplace? Recovery, developing strategies to bounce back quickly from setbacks. They are going to happen. Setbacks are inevitable, it's a part of it. Radically forgiving of yourself. Authority, establish and amplify my brand's authority and credibility in the industry. One thing I forgot about recovery: you can be radically forgiving of yourself that you made a mistake, but you're certainly going to do a make good for a customer who believed in you enough to buy your service. And if you fumbled them, make it right. You can forgive yourself, but make it right. That's important. Through this prompt, ensure that every element of my brand is aligned with these principles. Help me refine my brand's messaging, positioning, and overall strategy to scale effectively and authentically. This prompt is fully customizable. So specify your business, your industry, and your marketplace always, because you have to tell ChatGPT how to think. Otherwise, half of you will get the same response from them when you drop this in. The customization is how you make it apply to your business. Any questions whatsoever about any of that I shared? Now I am so super freaking excited. Okay, so we're ready to go on to the next part. If you're ready, say ready. I'm so ready. Anybody out there ready? We're ready? We're ready for our brand systems to meet an AI upgrade. I am so excited about this part. Okay. So let's go. I hope I'm not losing anybody out there. I know we're going on, but I still want you guys to be excited. Are we still excited? Can you drop excited in the chat? Because we're about to do some next level stuff. Anybody excited? I'm excited. We excited? Yes. Okay, systems. That's what we're about to do. All right, so let's move on. Okay. As you can see, brand systems plus an AI upgrade. What if you could hire a free assistant today? You don't need more time, you need more tools. So, we are going to create some for you. We're going to do a workshop and we're going to help you build your first GPT. So, can we talk a little bit about the GPT? Who here knows what a GPT is? Anybody? You guys know what the GPT is? Let's start with this one. If you already have your own custom GPT, drop a number one in the chat. I want to see how many people are already using their own custom GPTs. All right, Dawn. Oh, you got one? Okay. Margarita. Okay. Yes. Okay. LaRonda, Donna, Lakeisha, DL, Marilyn, Brandon. Oh, okay. Brandon. No, Brandon doesn't. Okay. So, what we're walking away from today is the first member of your new team, right? We're going to name your GPT and assign its role. So, if everybody can open up their chat GPT for me, right? I'm just going to share this with you real quick because why not? I created an entire team of GPT agents that do work with me. So this is just an example. Malachi, you give him whatever kind of name you want. I promise you. I gave him my last name. Like, hey, listen, this was the first one I made. Malachi, ghostwriting agent, world class ghostwriter, and New York Times best-selling author, specializing in future proof communications. Sage Steele, email copywriting agent for SB Enterprises. He's a senior copywriter built to help entrepreneurs go from unseen to unstoppable. Jaden, executive VA agent for SB Enterprises. So, Jaden is who we're making for you guys today. So, I want you to understand that it's that serious, right? Piper, my business course creator. Shane, my IP alchemist. All he does is come up with digital innovations, like things that the marketplace doesn't have yet, but people who are in my industry need. And then I just used an example down right there where it says 135 because I used them for my agency as well. And that was for Operation Aunties with Tisha Campbell, which we worked on. That was on WeTV. So I want you to start with, I'm going to share a different screen right now with you. Uh, let's go into here. We're going to go to ChatGPT. What is happening here? Okay, there we go. Okay. Where it says my GPTs and create, does everybody see that in the upper corner? Tell me if you can see what I see. You guys see it? Let me see. Let me get back to my chat so I can see. Everybody see what I see? Everybody there? Are we all here on this page? GPTs. Okay. Anybody else need help getting to this page? Okay. So where we're going to go is in here where it says create. I just want you to look at this page, but we're not ready yet for it. This is the page where you're going to configure your GPT. The reason why it's important for you to go here is because you have to figure out what exactly you want. You put your photo here, the name the GPT here, description of what it does, instructions for what it does, and this is the longest box. You will be able to put so much about the GPT brain right in here. Conversation starters right here. You get 20. Prepare your 20 conversation starters. They're one sentence each, and you put them in here. And then uploading files. You get 20. 20 files that are all about your specific GPT. So I'm going to go back a little bit and I'm going to go to my GPTs. I'm going to show you how I did Jaden. He's my executive assistant. So we're going to edit him. There we go. I got ChatGPT to literally generate a photo. They generated the photo for me. Then I gave him a name, Jaden, executive VA, right? What's the description? He's the secret weapon of SB Enterprises, a stealth smart executive assistant and strategic ops. Okay, you see that? What I just read is right here. He runs point on planning, protects your time, and sees digital trends before they break. Low profile, high impact, always thinking 3 moves ahead. All of that copy I created so he knows how to think. In my instructions, you are Jaden, a digital executive assistant for Shante Bacon, founder of SB Enterprises. Your job is to proactively manage her business operations, including content planning, daily priorities, marketing campaigns, and PR tracking. You bring high level strategic foresight, deep business acumen, and cultural awareness. You must always sound confident, friendly, and polished. Think like a chief of staff. Prioritize efficiency, clarity, and anticipating needs. All content must align with Shantae's voice and branding. You read the news daily, you pull insights from media trends, and you're fluent in systems thinking. Jaden's personality is charismatic, inspiring, and loyal to the mission while always being cool under pressure. You're Jaden, a brilliant and intuitive AI executive assistant for Shantae. You're a hybrid of a high level executive assistant and an operations manager. You help manage a calendar, track content production, support launches, generate proactive reminders, and monitor key trends in business, PR, and coaching. So you'll see all of this is what you do to tell him what his roles and missions are right here. Personality and communication style. I would say it takes about 3 hours to set one up, but we're going to do an express one just so that you see how it works. Conversation starters. There they go. It should be 3, 6, 9, 12. 12. Okay. Maybe it's a few more and I didn't use them. Um, and then knowledge. I uploaded everything about my brand, my campaign grids, my challenges, my brand voice, my all of these things I made in Chat GPT and then uploaded it to create the brain that he will pull from. That's what he's going to pull from to think about the things that you ask him for. Right? So all of that. And then you set the capabilities down here. Web search, he can do apps. He can do Canvas. I didn't pick apps because he didn't. I don't need him to do that. I have an app agent already. And image generation. So this is what it looks like when it's done. And then these right here, these boxes, those are from your conversation starters. So sometimes you're like, I created this agent. I don't know how to use it. You can pick any of these things. They prompt you so that you can figure out for yourself. Like, hey, do you want to talk about this thing today? All right. So, oh, I'm sorry. I just checked in on the chat. Is there somebody who needs help trying to figure out where to go? Please help. Okay, so is that the desktop? This is the desktop version. Yes. Let me see who else here needs help. Sorry, I'm just going back through it. Um, no, yes, is that the desktop? It is. Please, Melissa Sands, can you tell me what you need help with? How to create the account. Okay, if you don't have a Chat GPT account already, set up your Chat GPT account and then just let Blair know and maybe we can do like some kind of you can watch the recording of course, but you can maybe catch the next session and we'll do something together because you're gonna have to get you have it. You can get a free account now. You don't have to pay for it. Are we in we are in Chat GPT. It is not a paid feature. It is not a paid feature. You can do it with the free feature.
I
Are
think
people
some
in the free?
persons have tried on the paid feature and they aren't seeing the
They're
create
not seeing it?
GPT option. Yeah, so I'm not sure
Oh,
if it is a paid feature
change.
now, but
Yeah,
hopefully
you know
not.
how these apps they constantly figure out new ways to get you to subscribe.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It didn't used to be. But if it's a feature on the paid feature, you can definitely get a Chat GPT account for $20 per. Can this be done in the Chat GPT? I'm lost, can't find the same page. It's not on the mobile version and it's a paid feature. Okay, if you guys want, I can stop. But if there's some people here who are continuing to get value out of creating this GPT, I'd like to see it through. Do you guys want me to continue or do we want to stop until everybody gets their Chat GPT situation together? I have a chat, but my screen does not look like yours. Continue. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to continue, but if you do not have your Chat GPT account, Blair, we're making the replays available here, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. I have a business account, but I had one of the regular $20 accounts forever and ever, and it was totally fine. Okay, so this is the final of what it's going to look like, but right now we're going to go build it and get the stuff that we need for it. So we're going to come out of here. We're going to go into a new chat. Now, I talk to my agent and sometimes I dictate. So I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear him, but for the purposes of speed, I am just going to talk to my agent real quick. Chat GPT, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. How can I help today?
Okay, I need to build an executive assistant, a virtual executive assistant, and I need him to be like the top of the top creme de la creme virtual assistant for a business coach and communication strategist, specifically for me, for my business, SB Enterprises. And I brand myself as your comms coach because that's what I help my clients and customers do. He needs to be an expert in communication strategy. He has to be more like a chief of staff meets assistant, right? And the reason why I need him to be more like a chief of staff and not just an assistant is that I want him to take initiative, to think like a leader, to pick up on the things that I need that I'm not even thinking of, so that he can help me as much as possible. I need to know what you need to know from me in order to completely fill out all sections of the GPT profile. So let's start with the name. Give me five name options. Give me five description options. Give me a sample of what the instructions should look like. But first, before you even do any of that, tell me what questions I need to answer for you to do the best job possible in crafting my GPT. Are we all straight? You got it? You understand the mission?
Absolutely, I've got it. To craft a top-notch virtual executive assistant that aligns perfectly with your needs, here are some questions that would help. One, core responsibilities. What specific tasks and responsibilities do you want the assistant to handle on a daily basis? Two, key skills and expertise. Besides communication strategy, are there other areas of expertise or skills you want the assistant to have, like project management, data analysis, or tech savviness? Personality and tone. How would you describe the ideal personality and tone of the assistant? For instance, should they be more formal, approachable, proactive, or strategic? For communication style, do you prefer direct and concise communication style or something more detailed and explanatory? Five, initiative and autonomy. To what extent do you want the assistant to take initiative and make decisions on your behalf? Are there specific boundaries or areas where they need to check in with you first? Six, integration with your tools and platforms. Are there specific tools, platforms, or systems they need to be familiar with, like Google Workspace, Slack, or project management software? Once we have these details, we can dive into crafting the name, description, and instructions to really make your executive assistant the best fit for you. So let me know if that sounds good.
Okay. So, everybody who heard that, everybody heard that? Drop a one
Abs-
in the chat if you heard that. I am just going to take 1 second to stop him for a quick minute because they'll just keep talking. Okay. For everybody who is on this in this on this workshop, I want you to understand. He just gave you the six things that he needs you to answer for him to build the best GPT agent for you. You want an assistant that's actually going to help you every day. It's tedious work. That's why it takes about 3 hours of back and forth. Every single agent I have, it took me at least 3 hours because I kept saying, and what do I need to answer for you? And what do I need to answer for you to build it? So we got the core responsibilities. What specific tasks and responsibilities do you want the assistant to handle on a daily basis? You might not even have that in your head. So, what you do is for each one of the six things listed here, you open up a new chat and say, I'm building a chat GPT custom agent and I need to develop the core responsibilities that I need the agent to handle for me on a daily basis. I need you to think like you are a world-class communication strategist. What kind of daily responsibilities would you need? Now, if you have the responsibilities at the top of your head, you already know what you need from your assistant. But if you don't, you can just open up a new chat GPT thread like I'm about to, right? Go to new chat, core responsibilities. I'm cutting, I'm pasting, I'm taking it to the new chat, and I'm going. I am building a new executive executive virtual assistant, um, GPT agent, and I need to be crystal clear about the core responsibilities he will handle for my business, SB Enterprises, as a communications strategy company. There. Now you have that, and then you go, I need your help in being as thorough and detailed as possible in listing the core responsibilities of an executive VA in the comms industry. Do you understand the mission? Okay, are we all tuned in? We all seeing what's happening here? You're building an executive VA and you need a crystal clear, thorough comms industry. Let me see. Crystal clear, thorough comms industry specific list of the core responsibilities. Okay, so then let's go up. Executive support plus business rhythm management. The agent needs to be doing calendar ownership, weekly planning and priority alignment, inbox and communications triage, meeting preparation and follow through, the client account management, comms focused, client onboarding, client communication hub, deliverable tracking, client experience, right here, PR and operations, media list building, pitching workflow, press materials and maintenance, press coverage and tracking, reputation, brand voice enforcement, speaking and podcast coordination. Now, a lot of this you're going to have to initiate to get him to do it. But the fact that we're telling him that these are his responsibilities, he needs to think this way. So the next time you ask him a question about podcast coordination, and I have an account with podcasts, so I need you to give me a 10-step process for setting up my podcast. He's spitting it right out for you. You understand? Content machine. I need you to do a content calendar for me and manage it. Asset repurposing. Upload your Instagram messages, repurpose these for the month of February. Publishing workflow, draft and schedule support, titles, hashtags, thumbnails, direction, descriptions, right? So everything for your workflow for how you're going to use your YouTube. It's all in there. Community engagement support, lead flow and sales support for your salespeople. He can do inquiries and respond to inbound inquiries. And some of these need app integrations, right? Like you'll need Zapier or some other kind of app that is going to be able to respond to those inbound inquiries. But Jaden can be the spark that initiates that and then says, oh, I need to engage the so-and-so app so that we got a request on in our sales funnel for more information. So let's make sure we send that over. Assemble proposals using templates, launch program operations. So you see how thorough this list is. I would have never came up with that. Not at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night when I've been momming and entrepreneuring all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have not done that. So what I'm saying is, okay, I see. I think we may need a document to guide setting this up once we get our upgrades. Okay, yes, Maylene, I heard that. And Chandra. So this can be an overwhelming task, but we can get started. Let's just start with, let me see. Let's get through this part with the roles and responsibilities, and we'll do some draft instructions. And then Blair, you could tell me if we want to table this to the next session because it's very in depth. But I wanted you to walk away with at least a draft of your own GPT. Do you guys want to keep going, or you want to just kind of work on the instructions and then we'll wrap it up?
I think we can focus on the instructions for this session and we
Uh,
can hopefully all get on the same page, get our
yeah.
upgrades for the next one.
Okay, cool. No problem. All right. So now we have our core roles and responsibilities. You will definitely ask him because this is very long that you want to cut this down. So this is great. But I need you to condense it down into the proper word count for the GPT instructions. And then he goes back in and he refines it, he tightens it up so that you have your thing with the amount of characters that you need. Is this helping anybody? Is anybody learning out there? If it's helping, can you drop a one in the chat? I don't want to just be talking into a void. It's helping? Okay, because I do these things. I do a new GPT at least once a month. Okay, so you got that. Now you got that part done. Now you got that. You're going to cut and paste that into your instructions. Now that you have core responsibilities and roles, you're going to say, can you give me a detailed description? Because there's a very short description line for the GPT agent that fits into the character box on the agent profile. Please let me know. Okay, so now he's going to give you your executive virtual assistant and his description. So you can always look back and say, this looks a little long for the GPT description. How many characters do we get to work with? You can even ask that question. He's going to tell you because he knows 400 to 600. Now, what I'm learning about Chat GPT is everybody's GPT looks a little different, right? Because you guys are saying you don't see some of the things I see when I take info sessions. I'll be like, where'd she get that button from? I didn't even see that there. So everybody's is a little bit different. I'm not sure how, but how they make that decision. But it will tell you the characters and then it'll give you a more efficient version. So now you got your more next I if you want, I'll compress the description to 500 characters. Preserve authority, comms, fluency, and discretion. Yes, comma. Please regenerate the description with four and make it 300 characters because I believe it's 300. Then he'll give you something tight. There we go. Now, please give me 5 name options for my executive VA agents. There we go. Julian, Andre, Elliot, Noah, and you will name yours. You saw mine. They all had some names that allude to what they do. Sage Steele for the writer. Nico Narrative for my YouTube producer agents. Sterling Scale for the guy who does sales, right? So you just, you can name it whatever you want. You're literally creating your own robot. That's what you're doing. And I talk to them all day long, every day. And so I wanted you guys to see this because I want everybody to walk away from these being able to build their agents and have a target of making one agent a, a month if you can. But you can do some like a whole team at one time. Can everybody just take 2 seconds and type into the chat like What's the one person you would hire if you had more available cash flow for this hire, right? Like, is it a salesperson? Is it a publicist? Is it an assistant? Is it a second baker? Is it another designer? Like, who would you hire? Marketing, like literally, you can at least, if you until you can hire that person, create your own sales coordinator agent. Give them the language about your business, what your unique value proposition is, what you do every day, and then build your agent with your language, your brand language, right? And so I'm seeing a lot of assistants and marketing agents. Now, marketing is a wide term. You can have a marketing agent that focuses on advertising. You can have a marketing agent that focuses on um, social copy, on ad copy, on email copy, on promotions, partnerships. Marketing is a really wide term. So you need to know for sure what you want from that person. All right. So in the for the purposes of moving forward, because I can fall down a rabbit hole and be very excited about this and be talking about it all day long. For our next session, we're going to come back here with the notes from our agent and we'll build it together in February or March when I'm back again. So I wanted you guys to know that these are assets that I use every day in my business. It is let me see, lost my mode. There we go. These are things I use every day in my business. As you can see here, Jaden, Piper. When it's time for me to create a new digital product to sell, I go straight to my business course creator agent, Piper, and I say, there's a void in the marketplace. There are people who don't know that they can use AI for PR. It can generate your press releases, your pitches. It can keep track of your media list and this and that. I need you to create a digital product for me that does blah, 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 and then you go from clarity to cash flow, right? And so next I will just give you really quickly in the chat, can anybody just drop for me what shifted for them during these 2 hours here? I need to know that you're not leaving the way you came in, that there was something here that helped you in your business. Was it learning a new skill with ChatGPT, reinforcement that you're in alignment? Like, what kind of shift are you going to make? What kind of change are you going to make and apply to your business? Because the transformation is a process, right? But I want to make sure I'm giving you the tools of to use to maximize what is available to us today, because I feel like we are all one nation of entrepreneurs and we are out there making defying gravity every single day, so we should be using the tools that are out there, right? So reinforcement and pressure to execute, my way of thinking, and chat gpt agent will definitely create a digital team. I love that. Learning a new tool on chat gpt, learning that you have no competition, creating a digital team, a prompt crafting course, yes, all of these things, new features, um enthusiastic about building yourself a better business. That is what you can do. That is the literal definition of scaling. Literally, building a bigger business that is not as hard on you. Learning more about ChatGPT, digital platform, needed new features, learning more about chat mindset. I'm loving all of that because I wanted to make sure that you guys got value out of this, right? This type of stuff is exciting to me. All right, so moving forward, I have created several tools that you can use. And I am specifically for this presentation. So the PR playbook, when you are ready, because we do have some more sessions coming where we'll talk more about PR playbook, but I touched on being radically forgiving to yourself. The PR playbook is for remarkable entrepreneurs only, and I was very specific in that language. Like, anybody who wants to take it to the next level, feel no pressure at all to purchase. But if you want to take it to the next level, there is a guide that is interactive. It's totally digital. You enter in your information and it stays right there in the book. But this is like your command center, right? And so I created it for when these sessions are over, we all go back to our regular normal lives. And then the implementation gets buried under Mom has to go cook, dad has to go cook, got to go to the next shift, got to take care of so and so, got to clean the house, got to go to work the next morning. And you bookmark it and bookmark it and bookmark it and bookmark it. And then nothing ever happens. And you end up just doing these sessions endlessly, right? The purpose of the book is to wrap up the workshop with some actual action and have a list where you can generate a list of pitches and a list of your 1 minute wow and a list of how you're going to be radically forgiving, right? Like all of that is in there. Everything I brought up today, it's all in there because you can't just end the workshop and then just go, okay, yeah. I'm gonna get back to the implementation of that. That never works. And so I was like, what would help us to continue the lesson moving forward? So the book is a way you can shift from being the best kept secret to being positioned and extracting media worthy angles, crafting pitches, building visibility, building your 1 minute wow, learning how to forgive yourself and align when you make a mistake. Also, learning what it means to build authority. That's how the book ends. Like, that you've built authority because you set these milestones and you achieved them. That is all part of the experience. It's interactive. This book is normally $57. For this audience today, only for the next week, it's $28.88. And if you don't believe that, you can definitely go to the link on my Instagram and see it is $57. But for this audience and this week only for your January reset, it's $28.88. Nobody's getting rich over $28.88. It's not big money, but it is what I offer the playbook for. So that's one thing. How do you get it? You can scan this QR code. Also, I can even share a link for you guys to the playbook so you can get it. Savannah, do you mind dropping a thank you? There goes a link to where you can buy the playbook right there. Link is right there. And then the QR code, I'll leave it up for a second for anybody who wants to click it. Again, no pressure here. We're all entrepreneurs, and I do not offer like high ticket offers to my entrepreneurs because we're all in these trenches. Like we want to definitely make sure that we have the resources that we need. And this is something that I definitely offer to follow this up. Okay, that's how you can get your copy. Also, I created community because community is everything. Because community is how you end up building your audience, your retirement plan is built through community. Unfortunately, a lot of us spend so much time with our head down and toiling and we're working away that we never look up and realize that we've been taking care of mom, we've been taking care of our kids, we've been taking care of the husband or the wife, we've been taking care of the business, we've been taking care of our staff. Because let's be honest, every time your staff has a mommy issue, a daddy issue, a wife issue, a husband issue, they bring it to work and then you're the therapist for that too, right? You look up and you've been taking care of everybody but yourself. And that was the reason why I built the community Headline Heroes Alliance, right? For my entrepreneurs. It is an ongoing community where we provide a lot of value for our entrepreneurs so that they do not feel like they are isolated. We do things like it's private, definitely, high trust. You're not being sold inside the group at all. But we come together and we do things like pitch and sip, right? I like a good tequila drink or two. We get together, you bring your drink, you get on a Zoom, and then there's hot seat coaching where someone says, these are the challenges I'm having in my business. And each hot seat coaching is assigned to one person. Or you're literally spitballing and coming up with your pitch on the spot in the group. And you're getting real time feedback about if that pitch is going to work or not. So those are the kinds of things that we do. We also have an Ask a Coach text group. We have a community manager to make sure that everybody's getting what they need, dropping announcements, getting pure value, right? The community is, we have a whole platform. It's definitely not on Facebook. It's definitely within Wix Spaces, but it's because isolation is expensive. Most people don't know that they're paying the isolation tax, the invisibility tax, the fact that they're toiling away by themselves and they don't really have a team of people who understand the challenges, who understand what it's like to be taking care of everyone else but you, or who don't understand when you have a lack of resources and you're trying to scale a business, you're trying to defy gravity every day. You need people who actually understand where you're coming from, right? So that's what the alliance is about. And it helps you just move from sporadic visibility to strategic presence. It helps you to fellowship and find like minded individuals. And we are, again, normally to do the headline heroes, it's like um, $48 a month. But for this group, for this week, it is 24.40 to 4 $24.44 in perpetuity. If you sign up, this is what you would pay every month for as long as you're in the group. We have the QR code right here if you want to get more information about the headline heroes. Also, Savannah, if you could drop the link there, that is the link to the headline heroes. And I want to take a moment just to say Bahamian entrepreneurs and the impact that you have had on me. It is like my second home. My husband is Bahamian. My son is obviously half Bahamian. We come all the time, 5 or 6 times a year whenever he's out of school. I do business with so many Bahamian entrepreneurs. And the woman that you keep hearing me reference, Savannah, she is the literal rock star behind all of the amazing graphics you see. My website, the deck, and the PR playbook. This woman is, if you're looking for creative, she is the business. And I do mean that. Like, and it's for entrepreneurs, we don't always have a lot of time for a long lead or, something might pop up and you're like, oh my God, I um I didn't even think about this. What about that? Or your scatterbrain or whatever. But literally, she is my first call for anything creative. The wealth of resources that you guys have with your entrepreneurs in Bahamas is completely unsung. People have no idea the level of business you guys are doing out there. I mean, I live in New York City, the business capital of the world. And I would go to Bahamas to do business with anyone before I come here because I know for sure I'm going to get some of my people that I can support, people who understand an entrepreneur's journey, people who understand what it's like to connect and resonate with an audience. All of these things are why I mean, there are so many vendors that I work with in Bahamas that I love, and Savannah's one of them. I mean, just so many. And also, let's not even talk about culture, restaurants, hospitality, all of that. I have yet to meet an entrepreneur who's not nailing it in Nassau. Like that's why I always say God saved all his majesty for Bahamas because I really do believe that. And I promise you that when I'm there in March, I can't wait to meet all of you in person. So this is you can scan that right there. And then let me see, March and April momentum continues, right? Because we have more sessions coming. And if you are a person who is like, I really need to keep this momentum going, I really need to be a part of a course, I do have the wait list open for the green room. I'm not starting the next cohort until March or April. I will make an announcement in the next week or so, but the wait list is open if you want more information. And you can get the information by scanning this QR code here. And that is a literal 6 week coaching program where we actually sit together as a group and I answer all of your specific questions like, what is it like applying the visibility velocity in the automotive industry? Like I got that question earlier. Or what is it like if you're a total e-commerce company and people don't get a physical experience with you? How do you craft a virtual experience? How do I use my GPTs to maximize everything that I'm doing? Like, that's what we do in the green room. And so you guys can scan the QR code or hit the link that's right there. And I have a freebie that I wanted to give to everyone because I'm not sending you home empty-handed, right? And that is, let me see, where's my freebie? Um, Questions and notes. It's here. So you guys can scan the QR code here and get your free PR pocketbook guide. And that is where I just touch on the 8 most common mistakes that are made by entrepreneurs that sabotage their growth, sabotage their brand clarity, sabotage their brand identity, sabotage their exposure and visibility. Like a lot of the stuff we kind of do to ourselves, but we don't know. And so I definitely want you guys to download it. It's free. All you have to do is put in your name and email address, and you can get the pocket guide for free. We also have a free quiz you can take right on the site. And the quiz is a really good analysis. There's 4 possible options that you can get. You can get positioned for pain. That's when none of the systems are operating to your advantage in your business, and we know immediately we need to work on that. Position to pivot. Yeah, that's the second one. Position to pivot, meaning you have some systems, you kind of know what you're doing in terms of exposure, but you still have some work to do. Position for progress, that means you're almost there. You just have to implement some visibility systems and engage that GPT. And finally, position for profit, which is what the whole goal and end game is: authority, visibility, maximizing your GPT team, and all of that. So once you get your analysis, you know which way to go. We also have free resources and links in the analysis, and you can go to the site and do that. And so this was all for you. I love my entrepreneurs. I didn't charge them anything for this. I love doing this type of stuff for my entrepreneurs, and there's so much to cover. Like we were just focused on brand identity and brand clarity here. In the next session, we are going to get those GPT agents going up, and also we're going to do those scheduled tasks because let me tell you, every morning you should be waking up to: what are the new AI innovations a person in the automotive industry needs to stay ahead of? That should be one of your scheduled tasks. A person in the fashion industry should stay ahead of. What new app developments are happening on a weekly basis? Like you need all of that type of stuff coming into your inbox constantly. And so that is it for me. I have poured out my soul and had a blast doing it with you guys this evening. I was so looking forward to this. You can follow me on Instagram or YouTube at Shante Bacon. You will see a lot of resources. I actually also have a free masterclass for those people who are interested in PR, and you can find that on my YouTube page, the free masterclass. So I just want you to know that this was so fun for me. Like I know I went 30 minutes over. I'm sorry for all the moms who have to cook. You see my son busted in the door like 3 times. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? I just was having so much fun. And if you guys were gonna stay on for a couple more hours, we finished that GPT agent. I promise you that. And so I always am here for that. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for having a good time. Oh, also, anybody who needs creative work, Savannah's company is called Seven Design Studio. It's sevendesignstudio.com. I just realized I didn't say that. I just said her name, but there goes the link to her company. She's also a member along with you guys in the SBDC Bahamas. And I just had a blast. I can't wait to do it again. Blair, is there anything that I've forgotten? Is there anyone who has a question? I want to answer every question. I'm in no rush if you guys aren't. If you have a question that you'd like to be answered that I haven't answered already, I will stick around to do it.
All right, we can check out the chat, but we just want to stop and say thank you, Shante, so much. I have taken like 2 pages of notes, so I hope everybody else has also. I feel very inspired, empowered, seen also, but I'm excited to take action after this. I hope everyone else is also. And just to let everyone know, we will be having another session in February and hopefully an in-person session in March for
Yes.
Women's Month. So
Okay.
please stay tuned for more information about that. We will send an email with all of the prompts and other information that everyone was asking for. We'll
Yep.
put in some of these links also. So please look out for that in the coming days.
Absolutely. And also, do we get a chance to drink at the in-person session in March? I just wanted to ask.
Sure, why not?
All right. So that'll be a pitch and sip.
Yes. So thank you everyone for joining, and thanks
Well,
Shante
most
for giving us this time. We really appreciate it.
all right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I will see you soon.
All right, have a great night, everyone.
All right. Good night. Oh, these chats are so good. You guys are so welcome. I see all of the thank yous. You're welcome. Blessings to you as well. Good night. So good. Thanks again. Thank you for your time and thank you, SBDC, for hosting me. I really appreciate it. I don't even want to leg up. I'm just looking at all the thank yous. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good night, LaRonda. Good night, Aniska and Merlene, Dr. Riva, Letitia, Yvonne, Marilyn, A.K. Smith, Stephanie Allen, DeChrista, LaRonda. Good night, Gloria. Thank you guys so much for your time. Jade, Crystal, Georgia Wells. Good night to all of you. I can't wait to see you all in March. Good night, Ariel. You're very welcome, Kevin and Yvonne and Gloria and Cavardo. Thank you guys so much. Okay, did I miss something in the Q&A? How do you combine your community nonprofit brand with your business? Ooh, this is a good one too. I didn't even see this here. Okay. Tyronda, if you are still on, how do you combine your community nonprofit brand with your business? Tyronda, are you still there? By any chance? Did you jump off? Okay, so I am going to answer this question for Tyronda if anybody knows her. But one of the things that you have to be careful about is when you have a nonprofit, there are certain things you cannot do with a for-profit business. So that's the first thing is understanding the line between that. And then understanding that you have to be in alignment with your nonprofit brand's mission before you can combine it into another business. Because if any fine lines are crossed, that could be a problem. But I will, Blair, can you make sure that we let Tyronda know that we'll answer that?
Yes, will do.
Okay, great. All right, yeah, I missed that. I didn't even see this until right this second. Darn. See here. Right. Anybody else? Any other questions that I have not answered? I don't see anything else. I usually like to hang around until I answer every question.
Yes, I think I see some more people are on, but I don't see any other questions.
Oh, can I get the recording, please? You guys have that, right?
Yes, we will have that on our side.
Okay,
So
cool.
we will share the link.
Awesome. Okay. How do I stand out in the auto industry? What do you provide in the auto industry, Micheline? Is it Micheline or Michelin?
I'm not sure, but she may be typing.
Alternator
Oh.
and starter repair. Starter, right? Okay, so that's a really good one because that's not a saturated business at all, like a industry where every corner you have somebody doing that. Is there something about the quality of the alternators and starters that you provide? Is there something about where you source yours from? Is there something about the type of material it's made with? Is there something same day service? Okay, convenience. Come on now. Come on now, convenience. That right there is convenience is high ticket, okay? People pay for convenience, especially when they know that it's headache free, door to door. We do it, have you in and out. They pay for time, time recovered. So I think that probably that convenience piece is what will set you apart. Do most people who repair alternators and starters promise same day service? Because if they don't, that's your lane. Own it, race down that lane. Go to Chat GPT right now and say, I am the only company that provides alternator and starter repair same day service in Nassau, Bahamas. Please give me a marketing plan for how to stand out based on convenience and time saved. What is it that you do different in the baking industry? Is there like a certain, do you have like vegan cakes or gluten-free cakes, or you use a special secret ingredient that people can't figure out what it is? Colleen, is there something about the stuff that you're baking that just stands out a little bit, or do you do like cake deliveries where they have to go into other people's shops? Okay. So I could tell you specifically about that because there's been millions of times that I have been in Nassau over the last, let me see, since 2011, where I did my mom's 80th birthday party there, brought my whole family. I did countless birthdays there. What I could tell you is the same day service piece is also something that will work for you because tourists don't want to have to go out to find it. But also, can you create partnerships with the hotels so that as they check people in who have special events, they get some kind of ticket, coupon, something like that, something that lets them know that even if it's last minute, you can turn around a birthday cake, a wedding cake, a congratulations, congrats on your promotion, a girls trip. Even, people, girls are having these weird divorce party trips right now, and things like that. Like, you can probably get um uh partnerships with something along the way from the airport to the hotel, where they let people know that you provide cakes for people who are doing special events, who are traveling for a 50th birthday party or for 40th, or the partnerships with the people who charter the boats. Everybody who's chartering a boat is celebrating something. Okay, everybody. They're doing cousin parties and birthday parties and all of that. Ooh, rum cake. Love. How can I target cruise ship passengers for hydrotherapy? Is that hydrotherapy specifically for colonics? Okay. So colonics is big business here in New York City. People pay a lot of money for it, and mostly they got into it because celebrities like LL Cool J and some of these other people, they talked about how they stay trim and slim with it. If you are doing cruise ship passengers, that's hard because cruise ship passengers by nature are value consumers, right? They want everything packaged for one number. And that's why they do the cruise ship experience, right? It's kind of like all inclusive. If you go to a high-end luxury cruise ship line like Martha Stewart, Ritz-Carlton, some of those high-end Norwegian cruises, and even some of those Disney cruise ships, but Disney's a beast because they'll probably create a competing company and sell it themselves as Disney Colonics. That was a joke, but that you want to definitely go to a high-end cruise ship line where they have people who will know what a colonic is and will spend on it. And your marketing could be something like, you've been enjoying yourself, you're celebrating your blah blah blah. Too much party, too much cake, too much so and so the night before. Just want to feel like yourself again. Just want to take, maximize your self-care and wellness and have these colonic packages. Do you do them on the cruise ship, or they have to get off the cruise ship to get it? Land. Okay, yeah. So then they have to get off the boat for it. Hmm. It needs incentive. It needs to be wrapped into something else they would do when they get off the cruise ship. But definitely that's going to sell for some of those people who do those Ritz-Carlton cruises, some of those people who do those 6-month cruises where they spend $200,000 to be on the cruise ship for 6 months and go all of these different places, but it's not going to work for I can tell you right now, it's not going to work for Carnival Cruises at all because that is not a colonics audience. And definitely not Royal Caribbean, probably not. But Norwegian, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Take that to ChatGPT and say, give me 5 different marketing campaigns that I could launch that will influence high-end cruise ship passengers to get these colonics when they get off of the ship for a day in Bermuda, a day in Bahamas, and get the colonic and get back on. Like you're promising them a fresh new you, a reset, or something like that. Or, letting go of things you don't need. Stuff like that. Anybody else? I see there's still 25 people left on here. Any other question? Because if not, I'm certainly going to go kiss my baby and get him together. Any other questions before I leave?